Hey, it's Dana Tyson from the Sunny 99.1 Morning Show. I'm a Houston woman, been here for 35 years. We Houston women battle the Houston weather, the traffic, and the constant temptation of the best restaurants in the world. Some of us were born here. The rest of us got here as soon as we could. We are Houston women, and we're making a difference. Amanda, we have had the pleasure here of interviewing some really motivated women for our Houston Mom podcast. And you being a West University mom, you've got a blog called West University Mom. You've got so many great things on that blog.
Thank you.
How did you even get involved in this?
It was kind of a miracle. I had my second son. I have a 3-year-old and a 6-year-old. The 3-year-old was 1 at the time. And I was just feeling like I wanted more. I wanted to use my adult brain and my creativity. And I knew I didn't want to go back to an office or anything like that. But I went to sleep. And before going to sleep, I checked my email. And I had an email from the girl who started Greenwich Moms in Connecticut. She was a friend of mine, and she had reached out to see if I wanted to start something similar in Houston. And I woke up the next morning. I was like, was that a dream? That's too good to be true. And it wasn't. So I responded to her, and we had to come up with a name that fit the template of Greenwich Moms. Houston Moms is too broad.
Right.
So I came up with West University because that's where I was living.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Now, let's roll back a little bit because it's not like you're just a mom who just started a blog, because you've got quite a past. You've only been in Houston since 2015.
Yes.
You were like a world traveler before you became a mom.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
I was a nomad. I was very different. I did a lot of backpacking. I went through, I was trying to live in Italy when I was 26. It didn't work out. And so I continued backpacking all the way to Russia and then all the countries in between.
By yourself? Did you have a friend?
I had a friend who went back, and then I met up with a group, and we did a couple countries in Eastern Europe. And I did a lot of countries by myself. Mm-hmm.
Where did this come from?
I just had a fierce wanderlust. I was really curious. I love different cultures and exploring. And once I realized, I'm only an 8-hour bus ride to the next country or a 4-hour train ride to the next, I just kept going and going.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
So did you go to college and then?
I did. I went to San Francisco State. I was a sociology major. And then I had a couple of jobs. Then I did a lot of freelance photography. And so I was able to tie in the travels with a couple different travel guidebooks. And I was a photographer with the SF Examiner.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then you find your husband. You moved to New York. And then New York brings you to Houston.
Right.
And what are you? I love asking people. I'm from New York. I've been here now almost 35 years, and I would never go back to New York. I love Houston, but it took me a while. So when you get here in 2015, you've come to a city that's really come into its own.
Yes.
What were your thoughts on Houston when you got here?
I loved it. I was delighted the moment I stepped off the plane. So I grew up in Los Angeles. I lived in San Francisco. Then I moved to New York. So I'd been around a lot of big cities, but they were so expensive. And New York was so crowded. Just the hustle and the bustle and the stress. I mean, I'd find myself running for no reason there because everyone else is running in the subway, and it was just stressful. So when I told a couple of people that we were moving here, I was like, to Houston. We
hear that all the time. Oh, Houston.
Houston, huh? And I Googled it, Houston, and it come, downtown, gray buildings. I'm like, well, okay, we'll see. But what I found was awesome restaurants, better cost of living. You can actually, go out and do things and socialize and, go to
the theater district and walk there and park close by. Yep.
Yeah. Parking is easy. And I think it's beautiful. Some people say that it's not a beautiful city. I think the trees and how lush everything is, I really find it beautiful.
With our green space, we beat out Austin and Dallas, as a matter of fact, and we've got more green space coming. I mean, the city has some incredible plans.
Yes.
So you're moved to the West University area. You've got your 2 little kids, and then you're thinking, I can do more. So how did this blog come to be? You're talking with your friend, a Greenwich mom. What was your thinking? What was the mindset?
It was just, oh, I can totally do this. I was already making lists for myself as a new resident and a new mom in a new city. What are the activities? What are the different schools? Where can I go for this? Where can I go for that? So it was so natural. And then with my artistic and photography background and, some of the marketing jobs I had done and some of the writing, it just was a perfect fit. I mean, perfect.
What is the message that you're trying to give to moms? I mean, that is your audience,
Yes.
us moms, busy, maybe dealing with all kinds of issues. What is your goal?
So one of the things that really stood out for me, and I didn't realize that it would, was the weekly Meet a Mom. So that really inspired me because I found that after I had kids, I had kind of lost my identity and forgot who I was, and I had forgotten a lot of the accomplishments that I had. And you're so involved in kids, and and at the time with my husband, that I'd forgotten about myself. So being able to highlight moms and talk about, if they're working, what they do, or if they're volunteering, and really encourage them and empower them, that's what speaks to me. Because through the website, I was able to remember myself and then build up on my talents and really feel good about myself.
And the website makes you feel good.
Yeah,
it's a beautifully
I love
done
it.
website.
Thank
and you
you.
focus on the moms, you focus on activities, but you also focus on you and things
Yes.
that maybe make us feel good
Right.
and confident and beautiful.
Yes.
When you're focusing on appearance, what's your thinking? I know you've done a cute segment on eyelashes. You do all kinds of things that that make you feel good.
I've always liked services since I've been getting my nails done since I was a teenager, and massages. I love those sorts of self-care services, but there's so many now here in Houston. The eyelashes, those were fun. I recently did microblading on my eyebrows, and she did an amazing job.
They're beautiful.
Thank you. I wanted them to look really natural.
How did you go about doing that? Because I know there's a lot of consultation
Yes.
involved. Once they're there, is it like a tattoo, or does it wash off eventually?
It fades,
Fades.
but I really didn't want to because I have decent eyebrows. I'm half Greek, so I have the eyebrows. And so I went to someone who I knew was, she's exceptional, and we had a couple consultations. Yeah. And I trusted her.
What about facials?
I do facials. I kind of have like acne prone skin, so I don't do a lot of them. I do facials, but I do a lot of fitness classes. That's kind of there's a lot of fitness classes in Houston.
Yes, there
Everything
is.
from Pilates to kickboxing, stretching now. I feel like there's every genre of exercise.
When you're thinking of doing your Instagram post or your blog, you wake up in the morning. Have you read an article? Is it something like, oh, I want to do this, and I'm going to share this with my viewers?
Yes.
What's your mind on that? How do you pick what you're going to post?
And I should be better at scheduling things out, because I think that's what real bloggers do. But yeah, I kind of just go by the seat of my pants. And if I'd like to do a lot of activities with the kids. So if I'm doing something that I think is really great, I'll post that. And then I link it back to the website, because I have all the activities and different attractions listed. So basically the point of social media for me is to link people back to the website so that they can get more information. So it's really, if I'm doing something cool that I want to share, if I'm working with someone who's awesome and I want to let my network of moms know.
What kind of advice or feedback have you gotten from your moms that really stands out to you? That kind of encourages you?
So, you always wonder, is anyone paying attention? Is
Yes.
anyone even looking at this thing? And so I'll hear from moms who will thank me for, oh, I found this park because of you, or I found this fitness class, or I've been going to, whatever it is because of your site or your Instagram. But then also, of course, my favorite are the moms who I have, I guess, somehow inspired or encouraged. There was a woman who decided to start up her blog again because just a little back and forth dialogue that I had with her. I was like, yeah, you should do it and, do something different than what everyone else is doing. And she went with that. And that was just like a little back and forth that I didn't even take seriously or, I didn't think much of it, but it completely changed her direction.
Isn't that amazing that you can do that? I love asking motivated women, what are your daily habits? I think I try to explain to my kids, you might have all the goals in the world, but if your daily habits aren't good to get you there, what good is it? So I always love to find out daily habits.
So, I'd love to say I get up and meditate. When I wake up, I try to visualize how I want the day to go, my ideal day. I've done a lot of, work learning about, the power of positivity and visualization and manifestation. And just one of the main things is being a kind person. So I go through my day being kind and generous with people. And even, driving here, if someone cuts me off or if something happens, like, okay, go ahead. I guess you're in a rush or whatever it is.
Amanda,
I'm forgiving.
I have to stop you there because I have got the grouchiest husband. Now, since I've been in a wheelchair, he's been getting up at 4:30, bringing me to work every day.
What a guy.
But I've had a moment to sit and watch him.
Right.
And that kindness thing is so important.
Yes.
It's like a switch.
Yeah.
You can choose to be grouchy, but you can choose to be kind.
Yes.
I'm going to share that with you.
And
I really love that.
I find that the kinder I am and the more generous and forgiving, it comes back around my way. So I will encounter, now I feel like, even coming on the elevator, I got on the wrong elevator. But I was talking to 2 or 3 people in the elevator and they just, our spirits were like lifted up just by being positive and friendly. And so, that's kind of my daily practice.
That's so cool.
Thank
what
you.
about I always have to ask this because to me it's my liquid angel. Do you start your day with coffee?
Of course.
Okay, good. What's your favorite coffee?
I've been doing, I got something from Trader Joe's because I ran out, but I do the French press.
Yes.
But since I'm only making coffee for one, I don't get super fancy. I had a Keurig, and then I felt guilty about all the little pods that I was
They say landfills, right?
So I got rid of it. Yeah, now I just do the French press and just Trader Joe's coffee.
That is awesome.
There's so many coffee shops in Houston, like Cavo and...
Have you been to Catalina on Washington?
Catalina's great. Dandelion and Bel Air. There's so many. I love coffee shops.
Well, people are going to have to check out your Instagram for all that.
Yes.
Now, what about your breakfast, lunch, and dinner? We have this big debate here on Sunny because we're all getting up at 3:30 in the morning. We're morning people. None of us eat breakfast.
Oh, really?
Because it gives us more energy. We eat lunch and dinner, but no breakfast. What about you?
Is that kind of like the intermittent fasting?
Yes, it is kind of like that.
I've tried that. I used to think, I have to eat the second I wake up, because I was starving. And I've started skipping breakfast because of this whole intermittent fasting.
Yes.
And I haven't had breakfast and I feel great. I've had coffee. But normally I'm just a big grazer and I'm pretty hungry all the time. And I try to eat pretty healthy. I mean, from California, my parents cooked healthy. But my kids are a little picky. So it's, if I'm cooking kale and stuff for myself, they're not gonna.
No, it might be a chicken nugget night,
right?
Which you can get at Trader Joe's that are organic, and so they're good.
Exactly.
But let me ask you this: this has been Houston Restaurant Week. I have been having the best time experiencing restaurants and their $20 lunch menu that would normally be way too expensive. We went to B&B Butchers.
Cool.
I'm going to try Annie something today in the Heights, I think. I've been to Indianola. Do you have favorite restaurants that you've been to?
Okay, let's see. Well, I just went to, there's a new restaurant in River Oaks called Ouzo Bay, and that was delicious and very... it's beautifully done. It's Mediterranean. I don't know if you've
healthy.
been there.
Yep.
Yeah. Just gorgeous. And what else?
What do the kids like to go to? Where's their favorite place?
Little Matt's in Westview because of the video games and the they have an arcade room. It's an amazing place. It's also a nonprofit, but they have ice cream and it's decorated. They give the parents wine. They don't have a liquor license, so it's like donation based or tip based. Yeah, they They're great. You walk in, they hand you a glass of wine.
Little Matt's?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have to check that
Yes.
place out. That is awesome.
Yeah.
And what about TV? Now, you've got 2 little kids. Are you TV watchers, movies, Netflix, books? What's it for you?
I watch zero TV.
That's so far been a common denominator with our motivated women.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. If I have spare time, I'm working on myself. I'm not watching other people's creations. That's kind of my, thing. But with the kids, of course, we do Netflix for them. No TV, just because there's so many, commercials and, but yeah, little Netflix shows. I try to keep them innocent with like the little puppies and, but of course they're more drawn to the action cartoons.
You got to let them watch Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs.
Right. Oh, that one's so cute.
Such
they love that.
And then you can bring in food, and there's a lot of teaching that can happen with that movie. Really cute. I'm just curious, with you ladies who have been so successful in social media, you put pictures of yourself in. How are you thinking? Are you getting feedback that might make you uncomfortable? Are you thick-skinned enough to know that, look, this is just the way it is. It's no big deal. How has this social media world affected you?
So when I first started 2 years ago, I didn't want to put myself on there. I was just kind of, posting other things like a flyer if there was an event or the park if we were at the park. And then someone said, you really have to put yourself in there. That way people will get to know you and they'll feel a connection. So I started doing that, and I started to see that it was being well received. People liked seeing the kids. And sometimes, of course, I am really putting myself out there sometimes with the skin. I'll talk about if I'm having a bad skin day or some of the things that I try. And I just go with it. I've learned now, if you look stupid, just keep going.
So you don't mind being vulnerable. You're okay with that.
Yeah, but that's taken it's taken a long time to get to that point. But I also think it's a good message. I did this news clip where they kind of edited out. They wanted a busy mom, and they edited everything out. So there was no mention of me being a mom. There was just like a woman who was. It's kind of long, but it looked silly, and I was embarrassed. And a couple of people were like, "Oh, we saw you on the news." But my point was like, you know what? It's okay. I looked silly, and I'm moving on anyways. So I feel like it's a message that we don't have to be so self-conscious about being perfect and doing everything right.
That's a good message, especially because there's so many young adults who are taking social media so personally they can't escape it, and bad things happen.
Yeah, I know.
And you with 2 little boys, I mean, they're going to be a part of this.
Yeah, I know. It's I'm so glad I didn't grow up in, the days where we were, that's part of our childhood or teenage or young adult. And I will be monitoring it with my boys. They're too young.
What age for phones? What are you thinking?
Oh, like 8 or 9.
That's early. I waited until 12, until my kids were 12.
I mean, I think like not just to be able to like if they needed, 8 or 9, I don't know, and maybe that is too young, but I think if they went somewhere and they needed to make a call, but I don't know what things are going to be like in, well, my younger son's 3.
Yeah.
What it's going to be like in
things are moving
5
so
years.
fast, aren't they? So fast. Now, let's talk about the message for young ladies, the way that you present yourself. I mean, you're adorable. You're fashion. Do you have companies that are giving you things, or is this truly you? I'm always curious about behind the scenes.
I'm not really that fashionable. Thank you. No, it's funny. I feel like I'm a tomboy. And I know I reached out once to it was some company, and I was trying to get a sponsorship with them or something like that, and I think they looked at my pictures and they're like, "Wow, you're not really consistent," because I do wear a lot of mom clothes. I'm dressed up today, but yoga
I think they're
pants.
Mom clothes. I think you look adorable.
Oh, thank you. Well, no, I'll be wearing this is like but no, I'll be wearing like yoga pants and a baggy sweatshirt, and I'll do a lot of posts in that because that's what I'm wearing. I have a great friend who does styling. So he's helped me a lot. His name's Bobby Well. So I have to give him credit for a lot of the outfits that I have.
There's so many similarities between you Houston ladies who have got these successful posts, blogs, and YouTubes, and you're allowing yourself to be vulnerable. You're much more genuine, and I think your community really senses that. And that's why you become so successful. Is that the vibe that you're getting?
I think so. Yeah, I've had people say like, "Oh, you're so real," or I like that you're honest. You're not trying to be the perfect mom, or you're not, have the perfect life. And I try to, I just portray what I'm actually doing. And I'm happy that comes through, because I feel like so many people get stuck trying to portray something. And, I'll have friends who live out of state call me and say, "Oh, well, it looks like you're having fun." I'm like, "Oh, you mean from my social media?" So, you still have to take everything with a grain of salt. Like, yes, That's what I'm doing on social media, but,
then there's the real life.
Yeah, they don't see I'll do stories with like the chaos and, that sort of stuff. But
I wish I could convey what I'm thinking to paper like you can, because some of the stories are beautiful and well done.
Thank you.
And they really make you think. And it really makes you go, I can relate to that. And I really like that. Now, as far as the bigger mom blog network, isn't there like a whole countrywide network of mom blogs?
Yeah. So it was really cool. So she started it 3 or 4 years ago, and then I started 2 years ago. And since
then, that was the Greenwich Mom.
Yes.
Okay.
They formed a parent company called the Local Moms Network, and they've just branched out. So many women reached out from across the country wanting to start up their neighborhood or their town. And then I found moms to run several towns here in Houston. So
you've gone to
Katy, Kingwood, Sugarland.
Wow.
We have Memorial Moms launching soon, and Pearland Moms, and then Cypress Moms.
That is so.
Yes.
So do you all meet to come? Who's the one who gets picked to be the mom? Representing those areas?
People who are interested. So the ones that are now the moms are the ones that reached out and say, "Hey, I want to do this." And yeah,
I'll have to be an East End mom.
Yes.
That's so cool. I love
Yeah.
that. So do you meet? Do you discuss mom issues? Are they going to be featured on your Mom of the Week?
I have featured them, yes. And we met last Friday because two of the moms from the parent company were in town. But it's hard for us to have our schedules
coincide.
link up, right?
Yeah.
So with kids and this.
Just to let people know, Amanda she texted me and said, "I'm in the lobby." And that was the day I'm in the hospital with these 3 broken bones. And just to get you back here with our crazy schedules it took a long time, but I was determined.
Maybe, yes.
I was determined to meet you because I thought it was so cool. Now, I'm just trying to think of moms in general. What message, what have you learned about being a mom, the message you would like to give to moms, you being an expert mom blogger?
Yeah. The message I would want to give is that we're all doing a great job. There's a lot of mom guilt, which, I experience as well. And we just have to put that aside and keep charging because, when you're mom, you love your kids, you're putting them first. So be kind to yourself. Don't compare. That's one thing.
That's the worst.
Because we all have our special talents and what make us amazing moms. So just look at that and focus on that rather than looking at what you're lacking or what you don't think you're doing a good job at, and keep going.
You're here to empower us moms.
Yes.
I love it, Amanda.
Yeah.
How can people find you, reach you? What are some great places to find you?
So the website is westuniversitymoms.com. The Instagram account is West University Moms, and the Facebook page is also West University Moms.
That is excellent.
Yeah.
Well, you are just a delight, and I've
Thank
learned
you.
so much. I knew I would love you. Keep up the good work.
Thanks so much.
Your little boys are adorable, and
Thank you.
I encourage people to check you out because you'll learn a lot.
Thanks so much for having me. This is great.